If you bought a home in Texas in the last year or two, at pretty much any time, and you haven't filed your homestead exemption, there's a good chance that you're paying more property taxes than you legally have to. Why does this matter? I believe this is especially important for homeowners in Austin, Pflugerville, Round Rock, Hutto, Georgetown, Leander, Cedar Park, pretty much everywhere across Central Texas. Property taxes here are a real expense, and this homestead exemption is one of the most important tools the state of Texas gives homeowners to reduce that burden, especially as home affordability has become a challenge over the last few years. But you get the relief only if you file for it. So here's what the Texas Homestead Exemption actually does. Let's break this down simply. The homestead exemption applies to your primary residence. That's the home you actually live in, not your rental, investment home, or your vacation home. It does two major things. First, it reduces the taxable value of your home, primarily for school district taxes. Second, once it's in place, it activates a 10% cap that limits how much your appraised value can increase each year for tax purposes. That cap doesn't stop your appraised value from rising, but it prevents large sudden jumps that can shock homeowners when market values move quickly. Think like between 2020 and 2023, when some Austin neighborhoods appreciated by as much as 60 to 100%. These exemption limits have been changing upwards since I started taking notice when I bought my first Texas home in 2007. This in part because state legislatures act to keep up with price inflation, so ensuring residents are not priced out of homeownership. The current limits were updated following voter-approved changes with Prop 13 in late 2025. The law now provides a $140,000 general residence homestead exemption for school district taxes. If you are 65 or older or disabled, there's an additional $60,000 exemption. So qualifying homeowners 65 plus or disabled may exclude up to $200,000 of their home's value from school taxes. These exemptions apply to school taxes first, and depending on where you live, some cities, counties, or special districts may offer additional local exemptions. Let's use a real example so this doesn't stay abstract. Say you bought a home in Pflugerville for $450,000, and that's roughly the appraised value. With the standard $140,000 homestead exemption, your school taxable value could drop from $450,000 to $310,000. If you are 65 plus or disabled and qualify for extra exemption, that taxable value could drop further from $450,000 to $250,000. Your exact dollar savings depends on your school district's tax rate, but in Central Texas, that reduction can often translate to hundreds and maybe well over $1,000 per school tax in school tax savings alone, before considering any local exemptions. Well, now let's talk veterans and other additional exemptions. This is important for veterans or surviving spouses. Texas offers separate and sometimes substantial exemptions for disabled veterans depending on disability rating. In some cases, a 100% disabled veteran may qualify for a full residence homestead exemption, meaning no property taxes on their primary residence. Medically disabled persons may also be eligible for exemptions. These exemptions are powerful, but they are not automatic. They require for you to file. So here's how to file. Filing is free and much simpler than most people expect. Go to your county appraisal website, so Travis, Williamson, Hayes County, whatever county you're in. Look for the Residence Homestead Exemption application, often called Form 5114. You'll need a Texas driver's license or a Texas issued ID that matches the address of the home you're claiming as your homestead. Submit the application online or by mail and keep a copy for your records. The deadline for filing to get the homestead exemption for the tax year is April 30th. One important reminder, you never need to pay anyone to file a homestead exemption. If someone asks for a fee, that's a red flag. Okay, so what if you miss filing? Here's something most homeowners don't realize, and this is where people leave money on the table. If you miss filing, Texas law generally allows you to apply retroactively for up to 2 prior years, as long as you qualified and the home was your primary residence during the time. So if you bought in 2023 and didn't file right away, you may still be able to recover exemptions for 2024, and in some cases earlier, depending on the timing and documentation. That can mean multi-year savings, not just going forward. Now here's an important context. What does this mean for schools? You may hear discussions about how larger homestead exemptions affect school funding. It's true that when taxable values are reduced through exemptions, school districts collect less property tax revenue from homeowners. Because schools rely heavily on property taxes, larger exemptions can shift how funding is balanced, sometimes requiring adjustments in state funding formulas, tax rates, or district budgets. That doesn't change what homeowners are legally entitled to claim, but it's helpful to understand that homestead exemptions exist within a broader policy conversation about education funding in Texas. Here are a few quick reminders that will prevent confusion. You can only claim one homestead in Texas. The previous owner's tax bill doesn't carry over to you. Values are often reassessed after a sale. Filing late doesn't disqualify you, but filing early ensures the exemption applies when tax bills are calculated. I'll close by saying this. If you bought a home in the last year or two and haven't confirmed your homestead exemption is on file, this is one of the most important homeowner steps you can take. It lowers your taxable value, helps protect you from future increases, and can save real money year after year. If you want help finding the correct appraisal district link for your county or understanding how this applies to your specific property, I'm happy to help. Follow the link in the caption, send me questions there. If needed, I can jump on a quick call with you.